How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here, sitting with Josh Dunn of 21 Pilots, and we're here with his Crowd Practice Bundle, SJC exclusive to Sweetwater. Josh, tell us what we got here, what we're looking at.
What we're looking at is something that I never thought would exist, really. I think when I started playing the drums and how much I kind of looked up to art, I would walk in the store and look at guys' signature drumsticks and guys, and I would just be like, that's so cool. Yeah. And that's something that I'll probably never have. But now we're sitting here.
You have it.
With that. So, like I said, I think early on developed a relationship with Mike from SJC, and he's the type of guy that, when he's in town, he'll hit me up, or if I'm in town, he'll, come check this out, or let's go get some food or something. And what's cool is because we both just love drums, we naturally just go into talking about drums.
Sure.
And the practice pad, I think, is important for me because another thing, when I was learning how to play drums, I would learn at the music store, but then all I could really afford is a pair of sticks.
Right.
So I'd grab that and I'd come home, and to fall asleep, I would just hit my legs with the drumsticks. And at the time, I was still listening to songs in my headphones and figuring out, close my eyes, and that sounds like he's hitting the ride cymbal. That's a tom, that's a rack tom and the floor tom. Right. And that's how I kind of learned how to play the drums, was just on my knees. And I think that having the ability to kind of just hit something is going to improve how you play and your timing and your rhythm. And since that, that's the pad that I use to kind of warm up and just do different exercises and improve my technique. And it's a cool thing. And I think starting out on the drums, I think that's a great way to just, at the very basic level, to just be able to hit something and kind of wrap your mind around what the drums are and what that looks like. So that's the practice pad was the first thing that we did. And the other thing here is the crowd snare. And by crowd snare, if you don't really know, we started doing this thing where in the middle of a song, we'll actually put a board on the crowd, and I've got a kick drum and a snare and a ride cymbal. Right. And there's a portion of the set where we call it Drum Island, and I'll play the drums while people hold me up. It sounds very unsafe and sounds kind of dumb, I guess, when you think about it. But
well, I've seen it a few times. It looks cool.
It's one of my favorite parts of the set because I think people want to be involved in the show. And a lot of times when I'm going to step up on the drums, I'll kind of look at them holding it up, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, just thanks. And I think that it's a cool moment.
Sure.
And so this snare kind of turned into the snare that I use on the Drum Island, so which is why it's called the crowd snare. But that's a steel snare. It's all flat black with the black hardware and rims. I think it's a 14x6, and it's got a cool ring to it because of the steel.
Right.
And I don't know how you are with drums, but I'm not really one that I've landed on the thing that I'm going to use the rest of my career. Right. I'm always trying to find something that sounds cooler or sounds different or fits the vibe or the mood of whatever it is better. And I think that's just kind of something that we landed on for that moment that really made sense.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt you, but here at Sweetwater, especially in the drummer world, we always say drummers can't have enough snare drums. We always collect snare drums like, guitar players collect pedals and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's always fun to have those different sounds around, for sure.
It's so fun. And in the recording side of it too, it's cool to have the snare drum you hit more than anything. And so I think that's obviously, like you said, that's the one that gets switched out more than any drum. Right. And you can start tracking, and it's I think it's kind of feeling something a little bit different, and you can just throw another snare on there. And so it is nice to have a bunch of different options. And then lastly, on the
I'll grab them here.
Okay.
Your signature sticks?
Yeah. So this is like another, this is so weird to me, all the stuff, but these are made by Zildjian, and I was talking to one of the girls that works for Zildjian, And it was actually her idea. And she said, because I asked her if she could make red sticks. And I said, what does that look like? And she's like, well, why don't we just do a signature stick? And I said, well, I don't really need that. I'm looking for something red because I think that that's cool. Again, I think, why not make everything on stage, including your gear, speak for you as well? Sure. As a drummer, most drummers don't have a microphone or a way to use their voice, and I even get uncomfortable in a situation like this sometimes, just because there's a reason why I like to hide behind the drums, but allow them to speak for me. And,
sure.
And the stick, even, I think is just a cool way to utilize expression. And so these things come with the bundle. And also a cool thing, the two relationships that I've had from the very beginning, SJC Drums and Sweetwater. And TJ, our sales rep, is a guy who has made life so much easier for me. And I'll call him at 4 a.m. sometimes, or we'll be in London and it's 4 a.m. for him. Oh, TJ, I need help with something, and he's right there. What do you need? Well, I'll help you through it. And he's saved our lives multiple times. And Mike's the same way.
Right.
And Mike, he'll bend over backwards to help with something. And so these two guys and two companies that I really believe in merging, and now this stuff is being sold. SJC drums are being sold at Sweetwater is one of the coolest things that I've been able to see as a progression in my career, and people that I know that are great people and great companies colliding and working together is awesome.
Very cool. The bundle also comes with the stand.
Yeah,
this is all part of it. Yeah.
Another thing that I didn't bring up is the SJC has just started their own hardware line as well. And so the stand is not just any stand, but it's SJC's proprietary hardware, which is called Foundation Hardware.
Yeah.
And I've switched over to it now, and it's
nice stuff.
Very durable. And I was also walking in here and just explaining that this is a black snare stand. And the last tour, I took all my hardware that was chrome, and I put like the Plastidip stuff all over it, and then instantly it just fell apart because you throw it in a road case and they hit everything in a bumpy truck or whatever. Right. So that's a black stand that I tried to do myself, right, and couldn't. So everything, this is all in the bundle, right, and I kind of can't believe it, but it's cool.
It's very cool. Now, what size are the sticks, or what do you normally play?
Yeah, so, this stick, because it's custom, I had to kind of like give specifications, sure, on sort of what I wanted. And I think that what I really liked playing, I think, was the Extreme 5A, okay, by Zildjian. That was the stick model. But this one, I think, is just maybe a little bit thicker than that. Okay. And it actually, the kind of main difference is that it tapers off a little slower near the end. The other one kind of like tapered maybe around here and started to get thinner, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
I kind of liked I wanted a little extra weight.
Towards the front?
Towards the front, yeah, to give it just kind of like, just more of a heavier feeling while swinging it around. And then I think, we went through a couple different trials with it, and at first the stick was stained, and that would get red all over my cymbals and my drum heads and everything. And so then the stained one, we decided to take the red off of the tip there, and it still got red. And for some reason, the stained ones were breaking a little bit easier. Okay. So we switched to paint, and this really doesn't leave. It leaves a little bit of red, but hardly any. Okay. And it also kind of wipes off. Nothing on the cymbals, mostly just my snare. And these I find really, really hard to break. Cool. They do every once in a while, but they're more durable than any sticks that I've ever used, actually. So
very cool.
They're a good stick.
That's fantastic, man. Congratulations on your signature gear. It's beautiful looking stuff. And I've played the SJC drums. I can tell you from personal experience, they feel great and they sound great. And it's really cool stuff. So if anybody out there, if you like any more information about this SJC Josh Dunn bundle, just contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.
shines on the ground and shows what you have done. It shows where your mind has gone, and you swear to your parents that it will never happen again. I know